Boy, people, me there watch this video. And me just decide to me for show it. This happened in the Bronx, New York. And me need to look at it and to what I think. This is a video. Look at this. You see the lady with the little kid behind her. Right? She stops at the cross and she'll wait for the kid to come across. And you see how far behind she has the kid left there? Look at that. And come to find out, the police realized that the kid was left on the street corner that night. And after they pick up the kid, they said the kid was picked up 15 minutes later. But she was able to tell them what her name was and all of that. But the mother, nobody showed up for the kid 4 days later. So I don't know what happened. Why a mother who you feel so much pain to have a baby. And when you look at the little girl's picture, let me show you guys. This is a little girl. Something went wrong. Here's a picture of the little girl. Right? She's now in the custody of the police, of the children services. Beautiful little girl. You know, hair needs to be combed and all of that. But the point about it is, you know, our children never asked to come in this world, you know. And to just see a little kid to be left outside in the cold. She was wearing only a sweater. And she had on a pair of boots. And she had on a sweatpants. In the cold in February 18th. So I don't know what happened, why the mother would drop her kid off, just leave the kid out in such a vulnerable place and walk away and not feel no way. So what happened? I don't know. I don't know what could have happened. Was the baby father treating her badly? You look at her hair really needs to be combed. The kid looks sad, but she's somebody. And if they can't, if it reach a point where it's too much to handle, just bring her to the police station or drop her off at a safe place. Don't leave her on the street. My good God, anything could have happened to the poor kid. My God, it tear my heart up just to know when I was growing up how I was so afraid. And just think of this kid out by herself and out there. So thank God somebody found her, but just imagine the scar that will be left with this child when she's able to tell her story. People, look. I know it's tough, but you know what? Sometimes, you know, little arguments or whatever it is become a big thing where we feel like, all right, so the kid looks like the father, you get angry, you don't want to see the kid, they remind you of the father. But it's not the kid's fault. The kid didn't ask to be born in this world. We bring them here, and it's our job to take care of them. And no matter what the situation comes up, somebody is out there who will take the kid. And you want to make sure that they're left with people who will take good care of them and not abuse them either. Because when kids don't belong to you, to some people, they will talk, oh, I love the kid, until they're left alone to deal with all the issues that come with kids. Because it looks good and kids are fun and they're nice. But when other things comes up, then, you know, it's not everybody who can be parents for children. We have many mothers, but not all mothers are not parents. So I was just scanning through the news and just saw this and just felt so bad. I really want to follow up with it to see the reason why she left the kid there. She's now locked up. They found her, and she's now locked up. So I really want to follow the story and see what made her leave a kid out in the dark at that time of night by herself. What could have happened? What could have triggered this? And so we can understand that even now, teaching and having the kids remote, you don't know what's going on. It can be, it can be so heartrending. I tell you, I'm smiling now, but let me tell you, it's not an easy thing because we don't know if they're hungry, if we're not seeing them. They get in for classes, they don't even open the camera. And sometimes, when they open up, you hear the noise in the background, so we understand sometimes why. Because they're not rich. We're not living in a rich community to say everybody has a desk and chair set up somewhere for learning. These kids are in the same homes with their little brothers and sisters, and the noise and the chaos is still there. And so all of that didn't change when COVID hit. All of that is still there. And so, yeah, they do have a laptop, they do have their devices, but having a device doesn't mean that their situations change when it comes to their surrounding. Sometimes we get frustrated, oh, we're not seeing them, but we know that it's not that they don't want to be seen, but it's because the situations are not easy. So if you watch this little clip, just give, just speak up about it, because I'm sure this is a case we have seen. We were able to, the police was quick and to find her, but it could have turned out so much worse because the wrong person could have picked up this little girl, beautiful little girl, and the ending would have been totally different. So my heart, I feel relief that she was found, but I know years from now when she tells her story, it's going to be a hard one. It's not easy to raise kids. It's not easy to feed them every day and put clothes on their backs when they're not feeling well and they're crying, when you need to go to work and you have nobody to watch them. I've been there. I remember one night I hired, when I had my son, when I had my daughters, I had a C-section. When I had my son, I fought against it, even though the doctor was adamant about, you have to take a C-section, because you had one before. And I said no, because I remember when I had the C-section, the struggles I went through, and I had my sister there, and I had, my niece and my youngest sister there. But I know how hard it was. And so I decided that no, I want to have him natural. And I had my son, and I wanted to go back to work because I cannot. I am from Jamaica. I can't live on welfare. So I wanted to go back to work. I used to work 7 nights, and I got time off to have the baby, had leave. And I had him, and I had some money, so I'm telling my supervisor I'm ready to go back to work. She says, no, wait, get the baby, get used to you. But I want to go back to work. I know that, but I have bills to pay. And at the time, when I was pregnant with him, my husband didn't act right. He went to Jamaica, got somebody pregnant. And so I tell him, I said, pack and go. I wasn't even thinking that you have the kids to raise, you have a son. And so him being there would have been vital. No, I just know I wasn't going to get up every day, and the lies and the deceit and all of that. I couldn't handle that. And so I just quickly said, you pack and go. And I got a helper to come in. My God, she wasn't the greatest. But what it does, it puts a body in the house with my kids. So while I was working, somebody was there with them. I would leave work. I'd work 7 nights per week. And thank God I wasn't a club going person. I was never a street person. So I didn't mind working my 7 nights. And then I I would leave that work when I got that helper to come in. She had to live in with them. So I worked the 7 nights. When I leave work in the mornings at 8 o'clock, I'm gone to a 9 to 5. The 9 to 5 was to pay the lady. You're talking about in those days, um, minimum wage was like maybe $4 and change till it went to $5. I think the agency was paying $5 then. But you get that money. When I worked 9 to 5, I got $250, and that was to pay the lady to watch the kids. So because my daughters, they were twins, so they had to go to school. I didn't want them to not go to school. And then I had my son there. I mean, I come home, I'd leave work and take a taxi home in the evening so I could see the kids, make sure homework gets done, make sure they ate. And you just know that it was tough, but I still was grateful there was a body in the house, because the lady wasn't, she wasn't performing. She wasn't, even though it was just interesting. But then I just said, thank God, at least somebody's in the house with my kids and I can work. I don't have to sit home waiting on welfare, waiting on, you know. And so it goes one night, my son was not well, and I don't know what to do, Miss Bev, I don't know what to do. And I had to come home, take my son. I had the pouch to put him on my chest. Had to grab my son, pack his bag, and took him to work with me, because that's the only way I would have felt okay. I called the agency. I said, "Look, my son will be at work with me tonight," and so I had to keep him on my chest, working, working, just so he would feel calm, and he was okay. He had an ear infection when I was able to take him to the doctor, to the emergency room. He had an ear infection. So raising children is not easy. You go through some very interesting positions. But again, they didn't ask to be born. And so when they come, we need to just love them the best way we can and provide for them the best way we can. Um, it's never easy. And one comment that was made on another story I was just reading, where the guy was saying, women, we're just damned if we don't, we're damned if we don't. Because this other girl in another situation, she left her kids in a hotel room, 10-year-old with a 2-year-old, while she worked. So just think, if you are not making enough and you have to pay somebody to watch the kids, right? You can't afford babysitting money. I mean, I was lucky because I worked the 7 nights, so that could take care of my bills, put food on the table for the kids. But you just think of somebody working one job and just making like $250, and they come home and have to pay all of that. They can't pay babysitting. So it's a catch-22. She left the 10-year-old with the 2-year-old, and they locked her up. But people need to go out and fight for her. I think she's from the South. People need to go out and fight for her, man, because, you know, it's not easy. And so as kids grow up, I always admonishing my students. I said, remember to thank your parents, don't take things for granted. When they talk to you, be respectful, be kind, be loving, and appreciate them. Learn to say thank you, because it's not easy. And so, again, whatever is going on, we just hope that there's always somebody to just reach out. And people, you don't have kids, when you see people with young children, I know they might not relate to you or anything, but just give a helping hand, a kind word, a pack of oodles, noodles, a bottle of juice. I guarantee you it will go a long way. So it takes a village to raise our children, and it's darn true. Because when we were growing up, it's everybody took care of everybody, you know. The neighbors were coming with a little this or that, and you could go to the neighbor's house and stay there till granny come home, and you know, it was different. Nobody was looking for money for anything. Today, your friends are helping, doing a little thing. They're looking for money. Everything becomes money oriented. But people, it's not easy out there, so each one help one. Please, each one help one. Don't feel that because you raise your children or you do it on your own or you know, whatever the case is. Don't do that. Just each one help one. All right? So right now I'm going to say good night, people. Thanks for supporting. And if anything that I say makes sense to you, as somebody said, I was just babbling on. But I know a lot of times in the babbles, there's some important words. So if you hear any of the important words, please subscribe to my channel. Share the video, any one of the videos, quite a few. Just share the video and give me a thumbs up. So, as always, Miss Bev say good night, take it easy, and let's be good to one another. If you can't be good, just be careful. But support, and God bless.